Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
I don't know, about 7?
That seems like a fair estimate. But the answer is, according to Wikipedia, a woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
What's Wikipedia?
I never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
So, welcome listeners to another fine edition of Two Dudes and a Ness. We are here to discuss Super C, which, if you've never played Super C, it's actually the sequel to what game, Justin?
Normal C.
Normal C. Fantastic. Well, let's move on with the show. So, as always, we're going to talk about the game. Talk about a few different things. We covered Contra before with, I don't know if you remember that guy, Nick Stevens.
Yeah.
I told him to take off once. He didn't listen.
Yeah.
What a hose head.
Definitely.
But, yeah, so we talked about Contra, and definitely one of our favorite games. So we figured, well, why don't we cover the sequel, Super C?
Wasn't that a Patreon pick?
You know what? Super C was a Patreon pick from one of our special listeners. His name is actually, let me look it up here. I forgot it. I think it's Derek Samanthamum? Is it? Maybe it's Derek Samanthamum?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
All right, so it's Derek Samanthamum. So Derek picked this game. He wanted us to play Super C on the show, and we couldn't say no. So why don't we move on to learn more about the game from Mr. Justin?
All right. Super Contra was a game developed by Konami, and it was released in the arcade. It was designed by Hideki Shimoto, and the composers were Mashita and Matsuda Furukawa, and it was released for the Nintendo in 1990. And this is a run and gun game. So you shoot things and they die.
Okay.
Yeah, and
sounds about right.
There's bosses and you shoot them and they die, and you get power ups from these blimps, and you get those and you can shoot things and they die with the power ups.
You know, this sounds fascinating. Reminds me of my childhood.
Your childhood. Yeah, at that time, I was playing it one time, and then I had to pull a Carl. And Crabman was there, and he pulled a Carl too. But there was only 2 places to pull a Carl, so couldn't quite get anywhere else with it.
That's a sticky situation to be in right there.
That is sticky. But, yeah, so there's all these guys who worked on this game that I pronounced. I completely nailed it.
Yeah, you totally nailed it. Is that a Genesis Gems thing?
That's the germs. Yeah, we can't talk about them here.
Genesis Germs.
But so this isn't from the Wikipedia page. I never read from that. But there are version differences according to Wikipedia. I mean, the internet. And there's 2 versions of Super Contra from the arcade game. There's an English version, and there was another version that I don't feel like reading the rest of the paragraph. So. Yeah.
Why don't I read that for you? I think there was a... I'm just going to go from memory here. I think they're over in Europe. I think it was Margaret Thatcher. She didn't want... there were certain words that were banned in the UK and elsewhere. And for some reason, Contra was one of them. Or maybe that was Ninja Gaiden. They had to change that name. Maybe that was it. But, I think with Super Contra, I think the problem was, and we discussed this the last time we talked about Contra, the Contra-Iran affair. There was kind of a top-secret operation going on when Reagan was president, and it leaked out, and we got egg on our face. So, basically, it was a big, giant deal, and so Konami decided to change the name to Super C when the game hit the NES. And that's kind of where we are now.
And the funny thing about egg on your face that I'm learning from medical school is when you have egg on your face, it actually lowers the bad levels of your pancreas, and then whenever you have more egg on your face and on your arm, it can actually help heal the skin of your pancreas. So it's a good pancreas kind of thing we're having there.
Oh, so that's good to know, Justin.
Okay, just want to make sure everyone got that.
Um.
So hey, I have some quizzes for you, or just one quiz.
Fire away.
Some quiz-eye. Is that how you say that, plural? Quizzes,
yep.
quiz-eye? Okay.
Quiz-eyes, quiz-nose.
Okay. Well,
quiz-nose.
If you were actually listening to me ramble earlier, you would get this answer. What year did the arcade version come out?
1988.
Nailed it. All right. What is the name of the evil organization the guys were fighting?
Let me think. Maybe it was the Nazis?
Close. Red Falcon organization.
Ah,
man.
Space Nazis.
That's right. And what are the name of the characters?
Bill S. Preston and Theodore Logan, Esquire.
That's close, but you're incorrect.
Ah.
So, well, you're the winner because our other guest didn't show up. I think he pulled a Carl. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Maybe his name was Carl. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But he pulled it one way or another. Did you hear we're trying to get pull a Carl on Urban Dictionary?
Yeah, I heard about that. Maybe someone should tell us how to do that because we have no idea.
Yeah, maybe we can put it on Patreon and take everyone's money so we can do that. What do you think? We're getting a lot of money that way anyways.
I don't have any comment on that.
Just kidding. Anyways.
No, you're not. You're a terrible person.
I am a terrible person. Okay. So yeah, those are my tidbits and historical trivia. So, or historical tidbits and historical tidbits and trivia. Not Wikipedia. Not Wikipedia.
Not Wikipedia at all.
It sounds the same. Tidbits and trivia, Wikipedia. That kind of sounds the same, but
kind of all runs together. It's all right. We'll just edit this out.
That's right. We'll edit it out.
All right. So I think I went ahead and looked at the manual, and the name of the main characters is actually Corporal Lance, codename Scorpion, and Sergeant Bilko, codename Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
That's right. And before we get any further, I think it's time for...
Yeah, Michael, how'd you find this cart?
Oh, that's right.
Michael.
Well...
You are Michael, so you need to find the cart. Michael's quest to find the cart.
That's right.
All right.
So if you want to know the true story, so basically there was this golden ticket that everyone was trying to get when I was a kid. And got some special candy. And I unwrapped it, and sometimes you get special candy, and sometimes there's a golden ticket inside. Okay, and it just so happened that me and these other kids got this golden ticket. What that means is that, it means that you get to go to this special place where they have candy as far as the eye can see, and there's like chocolate fountains. And there's these things called Oompa Loompas. Have you ever seen an Oompa Loompa, Justin?
I have.
And so Oompa Loompas, and there's a man named Willy Wonka. Well, anyways, how that relates to Super C is that, I finally got to meet Mr. Wonka after facing a bunch of trials. And I got to meet Mr. Wonka, and he said, well, what's the one thing you really want in life? And I told him, well, I'd like a copy of Super C for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And he said, is that really what you want? Is that, honestly, in your heart of hearts, is that truly what you want deep down inside? And I said, yes.
Wow.
That was pretty deep, man. I know. It's from the heart.
That's deep.
It's real deep.
Did anyone pull a Carl while you were there?
Yeah, someone pulled a Carl,
okay.
And they're not really allowed to talk about it anymore. So I don't. Better just leave that alone.
Okay.
But that everything I just said was completely fake and false. I actually got this cart about 10 years ago. I mean, I used to rent it from the Pick-a-Flick. And
the Pick-a-Flick, yeah.
Yeah, Loudon, where I grew up. So there was, Pick-a-Flick. I went over to this Pick-a-Flick, and, the guy knows me. I think we mentioned this before. And he'd just be like, 2222. And I go in there, and sure enough, he's like, 2222. And I'm like, that's me. And, I walked over, and I picked up that copy of Super C. It looked like a mighty fine Contra-looking game. Had the Konami logo on it. And
gotta love that silver box.
That silver box, man, I tell you what, that's amazing stuff. So I got the cart, brought it home, and I had to fight the urge to not return it, even though my parents would get charged for it. But I fought that urge and I returned it. And then 10 years ago it showed up at the Sweetwater Flea Market, which is about southwest of here. You just head down over on 75 and you'll get there eventually. And you know what? They had it over at the Sweetwater Flea Market, and it was only $10. And that's a pretty amazing deal.
Did you end up getting a corn dog while you're there?
Oh, man, I got 3 corn dogs.
Did you put mustard or ketchup on it?
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Well, if you put ketchup on it, that's kind of like for little kids. It kind of ruins the dog. I'm all about mustard. And mustard's actually it's a natural derivative from a mustard seed. If you don't know what a mustard seed, it's a real tiny seed that comes from mustard. It actually makes mustard. And then when you put it in your mouth, it tastes good. So all that health stuff and medical stuff. So, yeah.
Can you tell us the medical properties of mustard seeds?
MUS, which is part of the chemical table thing with all the different letters, and MUS is mustard, and then TARD, which I won't go into that because it sounds funny.
It sounds like turd.
Mustard. But it's like pulling a Carl,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mustard, pulling a Carl. That could kind of be like a synonym on Urban Dictionary if they have like a thesaurus, like a earthosaurus. Yeah. So they
pretty urban, right?
We're
pretty
urban.
Hip.
Yeah, we're pretty urban.
We're hip. We're cool. Cool, man.
Cool, man. Hey, dog, shut up. Is that train going by? Is that train going by in your... Okay. All right. So, yeah.
Okay, where were we?
Yeah.
All right, yep.
Some memories. You were talking about Pick-a-Flick earlier. That's kind of a thing we used to do. You sitting back in class, you kind of pick it and flick it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of did that too.
Yeah.
But, got trouble.
I rented this game from Pick-a-Flick a few times. It definitely was a weekend staple for myself. I like playing it a lot. But I don't know. I played the first one a whole lot. This one was always kind of there. When the first one wasn't there, I'd just pick this one up because the first one wasn't there.
Did you pick the first one up and flick it?
I tried to flick it, but it's just kind of hard to flick a whole cartridge like that.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Yeah.
Especially because you can't fit the whole thing inside your nose.
Yeah. Man, that'd be hard.
I once saw someone on, I think it was it National Geographic?
Probably.
I think it was National Geographic. Yeah, I think some guy, he stuck a very large object inside his nose, and it kind of reminded me of an NES game. It was kind of a weird shape.
Yeah. Did you try to blow on it before you put it in the nose? Get all that dust out of there?
Oh yeah, because you don't want dust in your nose. That's terrible.
That's terrible.
That's something that the Genesis germs would do.
Yeah, germs. So.
Yeah.
All right. I had a lot of good memories of this game. It was fun.
What kind of memories do you have, Justin?
Just a lot of shooting and killing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that stuff you do in your spare time?
I try to when I'm not picking and flicking. But
yeah.
This one was fun. It had a little bit of a different variety. You don't have the quote-unquote 3D levels. It's more of that top-down, like the second level. You get the top-down stuff, which is pretty cool. I didn't really like it at first, but...
It kind of grows on you like a fungus.
It does, like a pick-and-flick fungus, but it kind of limits how far you can shoot, if you notice that. I was able to actually go through the level, and if there's someone behind me, I kind of knew the distance. So if they're shooting at me, I could kind of scoot up a little bit, and I knew the bullets would drop. So.
And I noticed, I read on notwikipedia.com, I read on there that the Super Contra in the arcade, you could actually jump on the overhead stages.
Oh.
Is that correct?
It probably is. If Wikipedia says it, it's probably not correct.
Well, yeah. We don't rely on that.
No, we use Moby games like the germs do.
Yeah.
Yep.
But how did you feel about the main, I guess the meat and potatoes of the game? How did you feel about the side scrolling stages? Did you feel like overall they were on par with what you played on the original?
Oh yeah, and so the first stage even throws a little kind of a new thing with the inclines. I know when you duck, when you're not on an incline, you lay down, but when you're on an incline, you're kind of on your knees a little bit and you're shooting. So that kind of added a little bit to the game. The bombs coming down, that was a little tough on the first stage, but
yeah, dodging those time bombs a little tricky.
Yeah, but you can get over those. Yeah, but it's pretty good. It's like a good pot roast on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, just kicking your feet back on the porch.
Yeah,
playing a banjo.
Yeah, and it's one of those games where I really don't like to pull a Carl on if I don't have to.
No, absolutely.
You hit start. Sometimes the Nintendo comes back. It's pixel flickering and you pick and flick pixels, things like that. So I try not to pull Carls in this game.
Maybe if we had more Patreon money, we could make sure we bought an NES that actually worked.
Yeah, so like the Patreon money actually helps us not get on Wikipedia, so we don't have to read the stuff off there.
That's right. We can actually go. Maybe we could ask Aaron. Maybe we could hire him full time.
Yeah, it's like $20 a month. We could get our own Aaron. It'd be like Ask Aaron Part 2 for $20 a month. So y'all check our Patreon out for that.
Yeah, I mean, just take a look at it. We got various options. We'll put an Ask Aaron. Maybe it's a Ask Aaron Mach 2.
Mach 2, okay.
Is what we're kind of going for.
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Fantastic. Well, back to the game. Yeah, you know what? Playing this game, it did feel a bit like the original Contra, but it was different enough to where it felt like a sequel. You notice that they changed the weapons up a bit.
A little bit.
Where, yeah, just a little bit. Like I like that the first thing that happens is you grab that machine gun, and then it's like you get the R power up, which I guess is like rapid reload. So you grab that one, and then I think with other weapons, you can shoot them even faster. I think that's what it does.
Yeah. And then, of course, my personal favorite, the spreader gun, kind of looks like you're shooting red bubbles now instead of the red tomatoes in the first one.
Yeah, I mean, that comes in handy. I mean, I don't know. I kind of like having a gun that shoots tomatoes.
I do too.
It kind of reminds me of one of my favorite childhood memories.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah, I mean, that actually happened. That was based off my life.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I heard that all started at Pick and Flick.
Yeah, it did happen in a pick a flick. So
okay, I remember eating a corn dog and watching that movie. It was pretty good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good stuff with mustard, no ketchup. Because
no ketchup.
Well, that's the thing. Those tomatoes, they make the ketchup. That's why I don't like ketchup on my dogs. Because it scares me.
Ketchup comes from tomatoes?
Well, only the killer tomatoes. Because ketchup's bad. Ketchup's bad in hot dogs. So.
There's a NES game based on the killer tomatoes, based on my life.
Something about the princess.
No, that's Princess Tomato.
Yeah,
South. We covered that game. It was garbage.
Yeah, it was garbage. Not just good, just garbage. But
totally not a gem.
No, not a gem. Not a gem. Yeah. So, how do you like this game compared to the arcade version? I personally like the NES versions better. I always thought the arcade games looked a little goofy when they flipped.
Yes.
I like the NES version because they're like in a little ball when they flip. I don't know. You like that?
No, I'm on the same page. Even though it defies the laws of physics, I mean, you as a medical professional, you probably know that a regular human being can't bend their spine the way they do on the NES. But I mean that's the way to be. I mean, you kind of want to be like Samus Aran on Metroid, and you want to be able to jump into a little ball. And I mean, you look at Super C. In the arcade, Super Contra, and I mean they're jumping around hibbly bibbly, and you notice how like they're doing these weird flips and things in the air, and it does not look natural. It does not look right.
Now, and from my medical standpoint, you're right, and then from your engineering expertise, that can't be the physics of that and the mathematical equationaries of that can't be right.
Well, I actually just changed my major. It's actually I'm majoring in waste extraction.
Oh, okay. So
it's
all that obsession with pulling a Carl that got you into that. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's where it started. So I just, I think I've got a bright future ahead of me.
That's true. Maybe you can learn more about that blast processing those germs are always talking about.
That's right.
Okay.
Blast processing is the best thing that ever happened.
That's not right.
No, it's not right. I'm totally kidding because that's a Genesis thing and they can take off.
Yeah, they can take off. I'm a Nintendo guy. So
I'm not a Sega boy.
Not a Sega boy. Don't ask Aaron because he don't know anything.
No, he doesn't know a lick.
No. And Nick thinks he's funny with them stupid jokes, but those jokes are like for a 2-year-old.
No, I mean, those jokes write themselves.
That's right. So,
Terrible.
Terrible. I wouldn't spend any Patreon money on that kind of stuff.
No.
Okay.
Spend your Patreon bucks on us.
That's right. And you get more quality episodes like this.
That's right. And maybe we can get Justin an even better mic.
That's right. My mic's it needs a little bit better. So, but anyways, you can't hear all that feedback anyways. But yeah. So Contra, it's fun, man. I had to use the cheat code a lot. It's definitely not the same as that old Konami code. That up.
It's not that up, down, left, right.
Nah, this
QA start.
ABC. This
BA
one's,
start.
This one's actually right, left, down, up, AB, then start for one player. And if you want to do that for 2 players, you got to make sure you move that little cursor thingy down to the 2-player area and then do the same code.
And I apologize to our dyslexic listeners, but this kind of feels like the dyslexic version of the original Konami code. What do you think?
I think so. I mean, from a medical standpoint, I would agree.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of, it's kind of got the feel of the original code, but they had to go and change it up and make it all goofy. I mean, like I had to look it up because I couldn't remember it from memory when I was a kid. I just remember sitting at the title screen and being so disappointed because I'd never beaten this game without cheats. I'd never beat the original. I'm just not that good.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know how to play video games half the time. So.
Well, that's what I thought too. We do this podcast.
I mean, what's the controller?
Yeah, we talk about them. Why do we need to play them for?
No, you know what? Most of the time, you pick a game and I've never even heard of it.
Me neither. And that Wikipedia. I mean that one thing we do where we read off. I mean we already know the information, so
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're good. Yeah.
No, we're good. But right, left, down, up. Right, left, down, up. A, B, start. That just it just don't make a lick of sense. It's
it doesn't.
Well, you know what, Justin? Let's go on and go ahead and move on to. Did we have a high score challenge?
I don't think so. It wasn't on that Facebook page.
No, I didn't post anything up on the Facebook page. I think I forgot to do that.
That's all right.
I forget a lot of things.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Even though it's set in the Patreon, we'll be okay. We still got that money.
It was laid out in the Patreon that we'd always do high score challenge, but we kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, it's all right. So we'll just everyone wins.
That's right. Okay, so let's talk about the graphics a little bit.
Graphics, yeah. So I enjoyed especially that first stage where the kind of the lightning's going and you can kind of see a little bit of red in the sky and things are flashing and a little bit more fancy than the first one, I would say.
Yeah, I would say it's a little more fancy. Like, here's your last chance. What was it? What's that song from Reba McEntire? Here's your last chance. Here's your last chance, fancy. Don't let me down.
Yeah, I think you got it.
That's right.
Oh, Reba. Man, that TV show. I love that TV show with Reba.
Reba?
Yeah. That's what's called Reba.
Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, sorry. Back to what you were saying about the first level.
Yeah, so enjoyed that. Had some pretty good graphics. For the most part, it seemed kind of the same game a lot. The character guys look just like the character guys from the first one. They like we mentioned earlier,
have different colored pants.
Different colored pants, red and blue. Bill and Lance, but
you think they ever get their jeans mixed up?
Probably. I mean, but who would want to wear red jeans?
No, that's like painting a target on you.
Yeah. I mean, it's like,
shoot me now.
What if one of those aliens were a bull alien? I mean, he'd just run right at him. I mean, what's the point? I guess with their super flip jumps, maybe it's not a big deal. But
yeah.
But
you know what? And that if you ever play a 2-player, you notice how like if you walk right up to the other player, like the colors kind of flip back and forth really fast.
Yeah,
almost like a weird 3D effect.
So
that time I took those psychotropic drugs.
Yeah, that was cool. But being from the engineering field, like, what's red and blue actually make? Is that like purple or something?
I think it makes. I think it's chartreuse.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, chartreuse.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about the top-down levels a little bit. Did you like those better than the 3D-esque?
You know what? I think I was a bigger fan of the base stages, and I think it's just because they felt more omnipresent, or maybe just more overwhelming. I think the base stages, I felt like the enemies were kind of coming at me, and it just felt more frantic, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Everything just seemed a little crazier.
I think you found that word.
Yeah, I think frantic is
That's
the
it.
word. Yeah.
That's it. And I kind of felt like the top-down stages, kind of like I was playing another NES game called Guerrilla War.
Yeah, it did feel like Guerrilla War. And you know, there's kind of I looked in the manual because we forgot to read it. In the manual, it actually starts out and says something about, they actually call Mad Dog and Scorpion guerrilla warriors.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. I wonder if that was a nod.
I don't know. I may have seen what they did there. I'm not sure. Yeah.
But the top-down stages, it does feel like Guerrilla War or something like Commando or Akari Warriors, but 1,000 times better.
Yeah, Akari Warriors is just not good.
Akari Warriors is like, take the top-down stages of Super C and then throw them in a vat of acid.
Yeah.
And let them soak for about 48 hours. And then
that just turns out
flush
bad.
them down a potty.
That's just bad results. Bad results.
It's just bad results, and you won't like what you get.
Yeah.
So, Patreon listeners, just make sure you never pick that game, please. Nothing. Well, Akari Warriors 3 is okay, but they took away the guns, and I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, I got.
It's weird.
I got that Akari Warriors 2, and that's just not even right.
They should just rename that game Pulling a Carl, because that's just not right.
Pulling an Akari, yeah, I got it.
Pulling an Akari,
I got
that's
that.
Absolutely right.
Super C means Super Carl, so.
That's right.
All right. Is Carl with a C or a K? I can't remember. That's been
what?
so long
it
ago.
It depends what day of the week it is.
It depends. I see what you did there.
That's right. Depends.
You know, if he had Depends, he'd never have to pull Carl.
You know what? That's an even bigger truth.
Yeah, so you could call him Super C because he'd actually be around. So Carl, where it depends, never pull it again.
Man, we were just coming up with these fantastic catchphrases like on the fly.
Why didn't we think of that when we were kids? He'd never be pulling it. Of course, then we'd never get in the Urban Dictionary and get our fame.
I know.
Yeah. So.
And then, we'd never be on the front page of the internet.
That's right, front page. Yeah.
Right.
Number one. All right.
Here we go, from the manual. Don't fire until you see the red of their eyes. Sipping cold lemonade with a couple of native lovelies, Mad Dog and Scorpion, guerrilla warriors extraordinaire, relax on a real beach and boast of how they destroyed the vile alien warmonger, Red Falcon. Little do they know that Red Falcon didn't flee with his pointed tail between his legs. Instead, he tactically retreated.
Nailed it.
Yep. Tactically retreated to round up ruffians of the universe, friends from all walks of war, to mount a second assault on planet Earth. One of these new recruits is Jagged Freud, a demented alien from the Black Hole Galaxy who dishes out punishment with a laser-sharp tongue. Red Falcon has also shuddered in the Babaloo Destructoid Mechanism. What the heck is that? A giant alien attack tank, which was the primary weapon used to disintegrate the innocent solar system of Tralala.
Tralala.
I love it. Tralala.
Babaloo and Tralala. Jagger Freud. There's just some names.
I love it. You gotta love Konami manuals, because you pick up any Konami instruction manual from the NES days, and you are in
the silver boxes. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like you look at one of them, pick up Castlevania 3, for instance, and the weapons in that game, they're called Warakaya weapons.
Warakaya.
Babaloo. Babushka. So let's see here. Let me keep moving on. But the genius behind Red Falcon's Earth-conquering concept and his plan to have thousands of intergalactic warriors seep into the brains of the U.S. Army. It's a mind contamination trick which has already taken command of U.S. forces at Fort Firestorm. How do we know that our soldiers have been brainwashed? You can see it in their eyes. Now, If Mad Dog and Scorpion fail to recuperate from their months on the beach in time to destroy Red Falcon's GI fortified hate nest, his sinister scheme will permeate the world's mightiest power, nuclear missile silos included. And if that happens, we'll all be pushing up daisies.
Pushing daisies.
That's absolutely right. So, Justin, you want to go ahead and read the rest of this paragraph here? Where it says, how to fight for your life?
I can't quite find that now.
You know how to read, right?
I do.
You know how to read?
I do, but...
Not Wikipedia.
Well, that's the problem. No, I don't use Wikipedia.
No, you don't. You use not Wikipedia.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and read that, because I think I closed that window. But the genius behind, is that what you said?
So how to fight? You want me to keep reading then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because you're so ill prepared this episode.
Yeah, I can't find it.
You know, I might just kick you off the show. This might just turn into one dude in a nest. One
dude. Yeah, I'm gonna take my controller, roll it up, and go home. Then I'm gonna pull a permanent Carl.
That's right.
Permanent Carl.
All right. Yeah, I may never have to hear your mic crackle again. Oh, there it goes. All right, folks. How to fight for your life and everyone else's. Fire, fire, fire! And don't stop firing are the only instructions you need, because in this doomsday extravaganza, there's little time for thinking. Killer instinct is all that matters. And if your trigger finger lacks stamina, Earth will lack a future. To begin this all-out mega war, press the start button. Next, press the select button to choose one commando or two commando contest. If one commando plays, you assume the savage role of Mad Dog with controller number 1. If a second commando plays, he or she, yes, this is the 90s. Wait, what? I'm so confused right now. If a second commando plays, he or she, yes, this is the 90s, and women make just as tough commandos as guys, will take charge of Scorpion with controller number 2. Finally, press the start button again, and it's off to meet Red Falcon or your maker. Man, that's so nice of Konami to think of ladies like that.
It is. It's just like them.
You know, don't make one of the playable characters a woman, but we'll at least think about them a little bit.
That's right.
All right. So, you know, there's not too much to this manual, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the power-ups here. So, at the beginning of your assault on Fort Firestorm, your only hide protection weapon is a rifle. But if you blast away bouncing power-up capsules and stationary pillbox sensors, turn into hawks. Capture these hawks by moving your commando onto them, and your odds of survival will improve a little. Note, each hawk is labeled by a letter referring to the super weapon you'll receive. So the super weapons are similar to the first game, but Justin, you could probably say that some of these weapons are a little bit different. I think we mentioned that there's a machine gun. It gives you rat-a-tat-tat capabilities.
Rat-a-tat-tat, fa-la-la-la. The fire power-up in this game is actually much better, in my opinion, than the first one. Because the first one, like, this little circle came out, and it was really slow and kind of annoying. And this one, the little fireball comes out, kind of explodes on the ground almost. And you know, it just feels better. Like a big sensation of boom, you know?
Kind of a warm and fuzzy feeling inside your chest a little bit.
A little bit. It's kind of like you ate some bad food. You got that indigestion going through your stomach, coming through your intestines and out the other end.
You don't know if you're coming or going.
But once it comes out the other end, that's where you take over in your new waste management skills. So
absolutely.
Blast processing.
Blast process.
But
heck. We can have to deal with it.
We can do what Genesis does.
That's right.
Yep.
All right, so move on to these weapons here. We got the spread gun, which, we had asked during the Contra episode what everyone's favorite weapon was, and that's like asking, a dog if he likes fire hydrants. There's just no point.
And those dogs like those fire hydrants.
Absolutely, because they spray everywhere.
Exactly.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
And that's exactly what spread guns do.
Yeah, maybe if we had a fire hydrant when I was a kid, Carl wouldn't be pulling so many of those Carls. I don't know. I keep going back to that, but
I think you need to quit it with the Carl jokes.
I do.
Just for a little bit.
Maybe we should go back to Crabman. I just like saying Crabman.
Crabman.
Remember that show, My Name is Earl? Crabman?
Yeah.
What's up, Crabman? What's up,
It was a good show.
That was a good show.
Hey, Justin.
What's up, man?
I just felt like saying that.
I did too.
For old time's sake.
What's up, man?
All right. Okay, so laser. Incinerates your, what was it? Increases your destructive powers.
Oh, I thought you were talking American Gladiators. Laser.
Oh, laser. And what were the other characters' names? Like Nitro.
Nitro.
Steel. What was the other one? Fluttershy.
Explosion.
Let's see. I don't know. Apple Bottom.
Apple bottom jeans and the boots with the fur.
That's right.
Okay, cool. I like them apples too.
Me too.
Yep.
All right. So lasers. Lasers were a little different in this game, weren't they?
I think so. I usually avoid the lasers when I play Contra, so I can't
You know what? It's been a little while. I just know they kind of redesigned some of these weapons. I think the laser is a little different, if I recall. But the flamethrowers is a new deal. Apparently, when you hold the B button down, you get more power. But I don't like using the flamethrower all that much, just because I feel like with the spread, I have more control over the enemies on the screen.
Yeah, and I'm actually playing right now, and I found the laser, and it kind of feels the same as the old Contra, because you can hit it real fast and it doesn't go anywhere.
Oh, so it's kind of like a lightsaber?
Yeah.
That's how it feels to me.
Exactly. You just walk through the level and do that real fast. Yeah, it's a little rough. I feel like you get a lot more of those power-ups that blow up everyone in the screen, though. Seems like that happens about twice a stage.
You know, I think they made some parts of this game a little easier, and then some parts a little harder. I think they balanced it out a little bit more to where, like, newcomers... I don't know, actually, now I think about it, like, that first level, it's like, it is kind of a test of your Contra skills. It's like, if you can't dodge projectiles coming on the screen, and then enemies firing at you from all directions, then you're not a true Contra player. Because it did kind of feel like they were starting you on level 4 of Contra 1, didn't it?
I thought so.
Where it was like, that's what it really felt like. It felt like, oh man, I'm stuck in the middle of winter again, and there's these explosions kind of falling on the ground.
Yeah, like the snowfield, yeah.
Yeah, snowfield, just all these enemies coming every which way. This way, that way, over here, that way. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's most of the weapons. You know, since time is kind of short, we don't want to spend too much time on the weapons, but you got rapid fire. You got, which I talked about earlier, you got barrier, which makes you invincible for a little bit. You got mega shell, which is what we were talking about, where it just blasts everything to Kingdom Come. Just my favorite. I think if I could just have a power up that just spammed mega shell, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? There's a cheat code, and it's not even really a cheat code, but it tells you right here in the instruction manual. There's a sound select function. So during the title screen, hold down the A and B buttons while pressing the start button, and the sound select mode will appear. Here you can choose a new battle tune by moving the cursor with the control pad and pressing the B button. To silence the song, press the A button. Note, press the start button to return to action. So it's kind of interesting that it was kind of like this in Castlevania 3. What did you think of the music, Justin?
I really liked it. It didn't have that same catchy feel as...
It wasn't super catchy and direct like the first Contra, but it was still good.
Yeah, and the only thing I really didn't like is that when you beat a stage, I kind of wish they would have kept the original Contra music, but instead
they kind of did. They did, but then they added like this orchestral.
Yeah, it's got like a
orchestral hit thing in the sample channel.
I didn't really like that sound effect as much as I did the first one.
Did you know? Now, Justin, don't go look this up. Did you know that the guy? The guy who actually adapted this music, and here I said, don't go look this up, and I just looked it up.
Click, click, click.
Click, click, click. The guy who adapted this music to the NES, Hidenori Mazawa. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I think you did. I think you got it.
Yeah, so that dude, honorary dude, he actually... when he was porting this music to the European markets, because there was a game called Probotector, and this was Probotector 2, which basically they had to change all the sprites to look like robots. Anyway, something they do when you bring over a game from the NTSC NES over to a PAL NES. For some reason, the timing's different. In a PAL NES, it's actually 50 hertz instead of the 60 hertz, the NTSC, and so the music actually slows down, and so the samples actually go out of pitch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he actually had to go in and he redid the music for the European version to make sure the pitches were correct. Okay. So I think that's dedication, and I think we should give him the gold medal of freedom.
Oh, okay.
I think
an honorary gold medal.
Yeah, honorary gold medal.
Okay.
Redeemable at Toys R Us.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Music.
Music. Oh yeah, there's music in this game.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good. It's pretty good. Like, it has some songs kind of. I've kind of felt like the original Contra is more like had an Iron Maiden feel to it a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of like that new wave of British heavy metal, where it's just like it's immediately catchy and it's almost like super condensed progressive rock. That's how I would say that Super C is more progressive rock, but less of the super catchy stuff from the first game.
Yeah, and maybe it's nostalgia, but the first game to me has some of the best music, and of course I love the first game, but maybe it's just nostalgia for me. But I did enjoy it. Definitely has that Konami sound to it. A lot of the Konami effects you'd hear in other games come about on this one.
Yeah, I mean, and Konami was great about that. Just like, we're just going to throw in these Konami sound effects and everything, and it's going to be iconic and wonderful. And
that's right.
You hit that pause button, do-do-do-do,
yep.
And it's great. It's perfect. Was there anything you didn't like about the sound besides, I think you said when the stage ends, you weren't too big of a fan of that orchestral hit?
Yeah, I think that was really it. I mean,
I like the orchestral hits while the main songs are playing, and when they use the drums and things, I thought it kind of made it feel a little more full.
Yeah,
but
and some of the gun sound effects are a little different. They weren't bad different. It's just, again, nostalgia. I'm so used to that first game. I played the first game so much more, but hearing the gun sounds in the second game, it was, like I said, they weren't bad. It's just kind of different.
It's like the difference between a bazooka and a pea shooter.
Yeah,
something like that. So one thing we didn't talk about too much was the bosses. Did you notice that, like, in the original Contra, it kind of felt like each boss got progressively cooler as you went along?
Yeah.
And or they were different enough and kind of weird. In this game, it felt like the first several bosses were kind of a letdown in terms of design. Like, you get to the first boss, and it's literally it's the biggest run and gun cop out ever, which is, and you'll see this in a ton of games. You've seen it in Double Dragon 2. You've seen it in, of course, Contra here, Super C. You see it in other games where it's like, we're just gonna have a helicopter in the sky, and we're just gonna have random dudes jumping out.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the first boss. And that was literally the first boss. And it was a little underwhelming. I mean, it was still enjoyable going through the game, don't get me wrong. But then, like, the second boss was, you're on the top-down level, and now you're fighting a big tank with, like, 3 dudes on turrets and, like, a laser field thing that could, come by and trim you, I guess.
Yeah. And I felt like the bosses were easy for the first few stages. Like, especially that first one you mentioned, if you have the spreader gun, just shoot up. You take out those guns in no time. And then if you hit that little glowing orb, you can pretty much shoot that before anything even jumps out of the helicopter.
Oh, before we say anything more about a glowing orb, did you see that thing in The Onion about Contra?
No.
So there was something in The Onion, which is a totally legitimate newspaper source that I read to get all my news.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read it right now. So the headline is, well, let me see where it is. Let's see. I'll find it. Let's see here. I'm never going to find it. It's never going to show up. No. Well, anyway, just take my word for it. Over on The Onion, there's something about a boss who wants to be... He he said he might have to get that huge glowing red spot on his back checked out.
Oh.
Yeah, because he thinks that it might be infected because it seems to be weak and exposed all the time.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem.
And you as a medical professional, Justin, you can relate to this, right?
Yeah, any red spot needs to be checked by one of them dermatology guys.
That's right.
Especially if it's on your skin, because dermatologist just means something about skin, I believe. So.
And you should get your hemoglobin A1C checked out, right?
Yes, right.
Okay, absolutely. And back to the game and enemies with glowing red spots on their backs and things. I'm going to kind of move on to the bosses here and the levels. So we get to like the jungle level, which I think kind of picks up the pace a bit. And you kind of get faked out a little bit because there's a boss about 3/4 way through the level, and it's that spider boss from the cover of the game. You pick up the game, you're like, oh, there's a spider in this game, like a cyber spider. And you get up to this enemy, and what's cool is you can actually jump on his back.
No, is that right?
Yeah, you can ride him like rodeo.
That's right. That's actually my strategy when I play that stage. You shoot, jump on his back, shoot some more.
Absolutely, and then he shoots like these 3, I think they're like bubble type deals.
Yeah.
And then you kind of just dodge him, you duck, and then, he's kind of an easy boss, actually. He doesn't really do much else. This isn't like Mega Man where, like, the bosses are, like coke fiends.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they are like coke fiends.
Crazy.
Yep.
But once you beat him, you kind of get through the level, and you notice how, like, the level starts to sink. I think there's more, like, environmental hazards in this game than the first game. Like the level like starts to literally like sink underground, and so you're not quite sure which parts of the level are going to sink, and so you kind of got to jump from platform to platform, and just hope that the ground underneath your feet doesn't sink, and you fall into the never-ending nest pit.
Yeah, that's right.
Doom.
And then I believe it's the next stage where you start off the level kind of normal, and then you have to jump up, and all the ceilings are falling down on you. You just got to make sure you shoot till they explode. And
that's like the green base level, right?
Yeah. So once you remember that those ceilings are falling down, you can get through it pretty easily. But every time I play that, I always forget about the ceilings falling down.
And it's kind of hard to describe the boss that shows up in the green base level. The best way I can describe it is, imagine you're taking a shower, and instead of water coming out, it's lasers.
Oh, that'd be a hard shower to take.
Yeah, I think you might get zapped.
Probably.
That's kind of what this boss is like. It's a big giant shower head that shoots lasers.
Wow, that's a good description.
Yeah, kind of on the nose.
Yeah.
But we keep moving on there, and we get to kind of like it's like the second part of the stage almost. There's like a quick vertical area that's kind of reminds me of the waterfall stage for like half a second, and then there's like these enemies with the wings and like rocket powers and things, and you get up there, and then it turns into like you jump on top of these crates. And then this is where the game kind of takes a turn. Here's where it gets a little crazy. Because this is where like the game is like, oh, well, I see. You got far enough into the game. Now we're going to throw all the nasty skulls with the blood coming out and everything dripping ooze and pus. And suddenly we're playing Life Force.
Exactly. And
that's what it feels like. Like the last part of the game is like you're playing Life Force.
And that's another one of those Konami games in the silver boxes.
Absolutely.
Yep. But yeah, I like that stage. You really don't see that in the first Contra till the end, with the aliens kind of coming out of the ceiling. And so I always remember playing that game as a kid. It kind of scared me a little bit, and I kind of freaked out before I died. But as I got a little older, I got a little less scared. It was okay to play it. But this one, I'm kind of glad I didn't play this one when I was a kid, because it probably would have scared me even more than the first one did.
Yeah, and so you gotta fight a big giant skull boss, and then the final stage. Like, it's crazy. It's a fast descent kind of down the level. You kind of got to drop down the interior. It's almost like you're crawling through an alien's butt. That's the only way I can describe it.
That's probably a good description.
Yeah. So you just see all sorts of alien weirdness.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't even want to think about crawling through an alien's butt.
I know. I mean, didn't you tell me about a patient you had that's kind of like that one time?
Well, yeah, and that's why I'm saying I would never want to do that, because the whole time I was checking this one patient out, people trying to stick NES carts where they don't belong. I had to go through there, and it was all I could say and tell my staff was, man, that looks like an alien's butt up there. I don't want to see that again. So, yeah, it's not good.
And on that note, man, where do we even go from there?
I don't know.
All right, well, we'll just move on here. So the final stage is you have to like shoot these predator type creatures.
Yeah.
It's almost like they took Alien versus Predator and made it into a final level. It's like, okay, we got some predator type creatures and then some alien type stuff on the ground that you got to shoot.
And lots of Rambo influence.
Well, lots of Rambo, yeah.
Yep.
It's pretty much Alien versus Predator versus Rambo versus the Terminator.
Yeah, maybe some Total Recall in there. I don't know.
Total Recall.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. And then the final boss is really freaky. It's like this anime female chick with a tusk-looking elephant Titus thing on top of it.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know either.
You know, have you? Do you remember how to beat this creature?
You shoot it a lot, get lots of power ups, and shoot it until it explodes. That's what I did.
That's kind of the strategy on every boss, though, isn't it?
Yeah. And don't get hit.
Don't get hit.
Around. Yeah, but actually,
jump around, jump up and jump down.
Everybody jump, but yeah, you kind of learn when you play Contra a lot how to really dodge things. When you're jumping up in the air, you can, people are a lot better at Mega Man than Contra, but you can kind of slightly move yourself when you're jumping, and don't jump so high. You kind of have to develop your own style there, but that's how I always play Contra and how I always beat it easily that way. A lot of jumping, kind of trying to time the attacks, things like that. So.
Well, you remember it's kind of like the 5 rules of Dodgeball from the movie Dodgeball, which is a true underdog story.
The very true underdog story.
Yeah. Dodge, dip, dive, duck, and dodge.
Yeah.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
That's right.
That's
never
right.
Never heard truer words.
Never truer words been spoken.
That's right.
All right, so I think that about wraps it up for this game. I think we probably spent more time talking about it than it takes to actually beat the game.
You're probably right, and
because I watched a speed run where someone beat it in about 20 seconds.
Oh wow!
Or maybe that was a video I was watching of a monkey eating a banana. I can't remember.
It's very similar. I can see where you get that confused. But
they look exactly the same.
They do, because the top of the C on the cartridge looks like a banana, the yellow color. So, and that's true.
Absolutely,
that's true. But if you want to buy this game, I don't know. I'm looking at not Wikipedia. It says loose price is $22. Complete price is $51. So.
And you know what? You go on to Amazon, and for some reason, some crazy fool's got it for sale for $200.
Yeah, they better have some shrink wrappage on there if I'm gonna buy it that way. But I think it's worth it. You think it's worth $22?
You know what? I would pay $22 for. Well, actually, I would have you pay $22 to give me a copy of the game.
Yeah, like a Patreon pick kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is on
so
that.
I would take your Patreon money, listeners, and then I would go buy this game because I totally emulated it. But I know I do own it. Shh.
Yeah, you got it from PickFlick.
Yeah.
Flick a Pick.
No, I rented it from there.
Oh,
and then
that's
I got it from the Sweetwater Flea Market.
But yeah, I thought you stole it from. Oh, I see what you did. Okay.
No.
But yeah.
I don't steal games, Justin.
I'm sorry.
That's in the past.
That is in the past. Pulling a Michael. But you can buy this on the 3DS eShop, and it's about $5, I believe. It's worth it.
Is it in 3D?
It's not in 3D. For some reason, some of the only retro games on the 3DS eShop that are actually in 3D are made from Sega. I don't understand. It's just crazy.
I think Nintendo needs to catch up.
They might need to.
Because it looks like Sega's doing a one-up on them.
I know. A one-up. Like Mario.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Did we have any retrofitted trophies?
Yeah, I
was
some.
going to say achievements like we were on the Genesis gems or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
that's weird.
That's just crazy talk.
That's weird. I have 3.
All right, I've got 4.
Okay, I guess we could take turns. You want to go first?
Sure. Let's see. So this first achievement is called Time is Running Out, and that's beat the game while you've really got to go pee.
No, okay.
But don't pause the game.
Don't pause the game. If you had to go number 2, it'd be like pulling a car.
That's right.
Okay. So my first one is Welcome to the Jungle, and that's making it to the 3rd stage.
Oh. And you know what this 3rd stage is called?
What's that?
Forest.
Forest?
No, I'm just kidding. It's called Jungle.
It looks like jungle to me.
It does. All right, so my second retrofitted trophy is Hysteria.
Hysteria.
Yep, and that's avoid every spread power-up and beat the game.
Oh, that would be Hysteria.
That would be mass hysteria, because
Mass
I've never
hysteria.
seen anyone do that. I'm sure it's happened. Some people are crazy enough to go beat Mega Man without getting a single power-up, so it could happen.
Yeah. So my second retrofitted trophy is actually keeping in the Guns N' Roses theme. Take me down to the Paradise City, and that's beating the game.
And when you beat the game, is the grass green and the girls pretty?
I wish someone would take me there. But
Oh, won't you please take me there?
yes. Take it down, 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 take it down, down, down.
All right, so my third retrofitted trophy achievement is Madness, which is beat the game without getting hit, because that's sheer madness.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
Is that all you have to say, Justin? Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The words can't explain that. Because it kind of falls in line with my third and final retrofitted trophy.
Ooh.
And that's all we need is just a little patience. And that's beating the game without dying.
All right, how about this one?
It takes a lot of patience to get there. And a lot of whistling. Remember that song? All that whistling on that song. So
That's right. You know what? And it takes a lot of patience to do this podcast with you.
it does.
Yeah, it totally does. So my fourth and final fitted trophy. Sorry, my fourth and final fitted trophy retro achievement is feeling good, and that's beating the game on 2-player without beating your friend to death.
No.
Yeah. And so that's like 2 achievements in one, actually.
2 for 1 deal.
That's right. Because I think if I ever played this game with you, I'd probably kill you on accident.
That would be hard.
It might just happen. It would most definitely happen.
Might most definitely happen.
It most definitely might.
It's a lot of words.
Well, people do call me a wordsmith, so kind of got away with words.
Isn't that your mom's maiden name, Smith? I mean, that'd make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Michael Smith.
Michael Smith. All right.
That's my mother's maiden name, not my maiden
Not
name.
here, yeah.
I don't have a maiden name.
You have a maiden name.
No, I just sound like that guy from the 70s show.
I don't think we talk about that here.
No, we don't.
All right.
I hate him.
So game rating.
All right, let's talk about game ratings.
Yeah. I'm kind of jumping the gun here. You're usually the one that announces the next segment.
You know what? I'm going to let you take this one because you seem like you know what you're doing.
All right.
Which only happens about half the time.
All right. So we're going to relate this game rating to your favorite Genesis Gems host. How about that?
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Nick Stevens. And the reason I'm going with Nick Stevens is because Nick's he's a reliable guy. Kind of like this game. It's a reliable game. It's very fluid. Nick seems like a pretty fluid guy, and yeah, it's fun. Nick seems like a fun guy. It's I don't think it's as fun as the first one. So playing it safe. Nick kind of plays it safe. He doesn't take risks. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Nick Stevens game rating.
I'm gonna have to go ahead and go with Aaron Hickman because he's a stand-up guy.
Good choice.
And he fills you up and never lets you down.
Okay.
Kind of like a tool. Like a tool. I meant like a tall glass of
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid. Yeah.
I'm just putting words in your mouth. It's crazy.
It's putting them right in my mouth.
I guess so. Yeah. So we got this thing called D-padders or feedback.
Oh yeah, we do have D-padders. Man, who runs this show?
D-padder for life.
D-padders for life, and we have honorary dudes, and then we have people who just kind of show up on our Facebook page, and we can't get them to go away. So
that's right.
But we love you guys, so it's all good.
We do.
So I asked, we're covering Super C. What are everyone's thoughts on this game?
Is this where I usually talk about this stuff?
You know what?
I can't remember. Our last episode.
Man, I can't remember last week.
No, I can't either.
I've been doing so much studying to become the best waste extractioneer in the world. But you know what? Why don't I've got it pulled up. Do you have it pulled up, Justin?
Yeah, we can take turns or something.
We take turns. How about we just go eeny, meeny, miny, mo?
We'll catch that tiger by its toe.
That's right.
All right.
All right. I'll go first, and you go second.
Okay.
All right. Peter Guzman says, one of my top 10 NES games.
Nice, Peter. So Greg Polander says, Hall of Fame game for sure. Contra was amazing, but Super C topped that. It took everything Contra did right and improved on it, and made good changes from the original arcade version. Great graphics for the time, amazing soundtrack, fun and furious single and double player play, and still a lot of fun to play today. I can still one life the whole game.
All right, Greg. We'll believe it when we see it.
Yes.
All right. Unless you've got a YouTube video of it.
Yeah, we'd like to see that.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Is it true?
Come on.
Come on. All right. Joe Koppel. Definitely a must-have. I enjoyed the sequel as much as I enjoyed the original.
Nice, Joe.
You're a good man.
You're a good man. So, apparently this Aaron Hickman guy thinks we asked him a question, but we'll read it anyways. Aaron Hickman said, Super C is awesome. The top-down levels were actually a nice change of pace, and just more fun than the base stages of Contra.
What is he smoking? That's
I
just
don't know.
ridiculous. That's crazy.
He got 4 thumbs up for that. One of them likes on Facebook.
I'd give him 4 thumbs down if I could. I've only got 2 thumbs.
Yeah, because you can't do 4 with 2 thumbs. That's just crazy.
Yeah. I could do my two toes up.
2 toes, yeah.
2 toes down and 2 thumbs down.
Yeah, once I got into medical school, we had to start using calculators. Couldn't use my feet to count anymore.
Because you got to start using every appendage and every digit you got.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Anthony Pig said, great game, very hard, but good nonetheless. He could be talking about any game. Are we sure he's talking about Super C?
I'm not sure. If it was a Patreon pick, maybe.
He might be talking about Where's Waldo, for all I know.
That's true. Can't find him. Where's he at?
That's right. Trevor Franklin, go for it.
Trevor Franklin says, oh yeah, finally one I grew up with. My brother and I always played 2 players, which may be why we never saw past the 3rd level.
Joey Wageny. Sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Joey Wageny. Another great addition of the Contra titles. Good.
Tommy Rudd says Mega Man vs. Super C when it comes to difficulty. Just don't know. Laugh out loud.
I'm going to ask him if he actually laughed out loud when he wrote that.
I bet he did.
He did.
He wouldn't wrote it if he didn't.
No, I wouldn't have wrote it.
That's right.
Okay, Douglas Delecki Jr. says, I'm going to disagree with a few others and say not as good as the original, but still a must-have, excellent game. Oh, they're fighting words.
Fighting words.
Uh-oh.
Let's see now. Andy Lewis says, nope. Couldn't get past the first pit, let alone this level. Let alone the first level. Throw it in the pit, he says. I mean, he thinks it's garbage.
Poor Andy.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll have to give him that 10 life code.
That's right.
And a pat on the back.
Right, left, down, Miller, up, A, B.
That's right. Tom Miller says, loved it. I never played it when I was a kid, but when I picked up a NES as an adult and had a great time. Don't think I got more than about halfway through it, though. All right. Well, Tom, sometimes, we get through life, we get halfway through and we stop, but we can pick it up again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dust yourself off and try it again.
That's right.
So, Mike Campana, if I said that right, never got the respect it deserved. Both NES and arcade. Both fantastic.
All right. Mike Vito says, I remember when I got this game, first thing I tried was the Konami code. Was severely disappointed at first, but then found out how good the game was. And then Greg Polander replied, I'm sure you found the extra man code for this game later, right? And Mike says, yes, but way later. Pre-internet days were so horrible. We had to go outside and play on trees and play tag. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that was me talking. I'm sorry. Greg said, I got it from Nintendo Power. So, Greg apparently knows what's what. So let's talk about Humberto Montoya. Ooh, go ahead.
One of my absolute favorites ever. I have nothing negative to say about this game.
Oh, thanks, Humberto.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to read this one. This is perfect. Nick Stevens. So good. I got to make sure I'm wearing my accent again. So good. I wasn't a big fan of the top-down levels at first, but I eventually started to tolerate them. Well, you know what, Nick Stevens? I eventually started to tolerate you.
What a weirdo.
What a weirdo.
Yeah. Anthony Pig. The gym jerks are covering Hard Corpse now.
What?
Oh, they ripped us off.
Man, that's just... Oh,
you believe that? You believe that? What are they trying to... What are they trying to prove over there?
Yeah, what are those jerks trying to do?
I don't know. And there's all kinds of comments under there. Just
Yeah. And then Gabe Van Glider says, I got a funny story about this game when I was a sophomore in high school. I was working on this huge project for history, and it was on Cleopatra. As much as I was interested in the subject, I wasn't good at putting a report together, but I gathered all the info my dad was helping me with, but I finally gave up on it. It's not like I was going to be God's gift to the world and do I can't even finish this. I'm sorry, Gabe. I finally gave up on it. It's not like I was going to be God's gift to the world and do anything amazing with my life, let alone and my brother work on it. When I took on the real troubles of the world, killing the Queen Mother alien in Super C, I eventually beat that day. LOL. Awesome, Gabe. We salute you. And then Peter said, I hope your project got a Super A. Well, that's awesome. So let's go ahead and move on here. What did Mark Scott Jr. say?
Mark Scott Jr. said, I recently just picked this up, actually, from a garage sale. Perfect timing.
Mike Graham.
And that was his quest to find the cart.
It was. And he didn't have to talk to Willy Wonka to get it.
That's right.
Mike Graham said, I love this game. I like it better than Contra. One of the rare cases that the sequel surpasses the original. I don't know, man. Donkey Kong Jr. I mean, that's obviously a better game than Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, yeah.
Yeah. Donkey Kong was kind of weak.
Yeah.
How about River Raid 2? I think that's way better than River Raid. Or how about...
I love River Raid, though.
Yeah, River Raid 2 is the best, though. How about... Oh, I know. That one game. Oh, Cheetah Men 2.
Cheetah Men, yeah.
Yeah, Cheetah Men 2 is just a much better... Yeah, it's a much better game. Okay, so I'll keep going here. Ivan Kiproth Jocelyn, a thinking man's game. The perfect complement to a Beethoven symphony in a glass of Sauvignon Blanc as one pursues spiritual enlightenment through contemplative retrospection. I think he is trying to pull one over on us because obviously this is a game you play with a Bud Light in your hand and, well, you know, at your side, I guess.
Yeah.
And, you know, a bunch of chicken wings.
Chicken wings, good.
It's not something that you really need to think too hard about.
Corn dog, mustard, yeah.
Yeah, corn dog and mustard. And then Derek Fletchaw, what did he say?
He said, hadn't pulled this one out in a long time. It's much harder than I remember, although I don't have it memorized like the original Contra, so it might be on par. The top-down levels were different, and while I like them, I think the base levels in the first game were more fun. Overall, I feel this game is a small step below the first one, but still one of the best games the system has to offer, and a must-have, especially for the price. He thinks it's a gem, I think.
He does.
Yep.
But do you think this game's better than Contra Force?
Ooh, I don't know, man.
That's kind of tough.
That's a hard one.
Join us another episode when we cover the Mad Dog of the Contra series.
That's right. Patreon pick.
Patreon pick. Make it happen, folks.
That's right.
All right. So, did we have any You know what? If we had any voicemail here, then I will post it. So if not, then we'll move on.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Hey, Justin, where can you find us?
We're on the internet.
We're on the internet.
Yep. You type in 2 dudes, as I'm doing right now. Wait, no, maybe 2 dudes and a NES.
Does it take 2 dudes to get to our website?
See, it probably does. NintendoDudes.com. That looks like one.
Okay.
Is it? Yeah, that's us. D-Patter for Life, LYF. Patreon.com/NESDudes. Facebook.com/NESDudes. I think our group page. Let me just find that real quick.
I think we've got
page, groups. Facebook.com/groups/2 dudes and NS. That's one. That's we got a lot of members on there. Go check that out.
And then we also got a tweeter.
A tweeter.
Yeah, we got a tweeter.
I thought that was the name of your dog.
Oh yeah, that's the name of my dog too.
Yeah, tweeter dog. Which is what is that? Twitter.2dudes or something?
Yeah, Twitter. And if you go over to our Twitter page, it's actually, I'll tell you right now, because I totally forgot, and I'm the one who set it up.
Yeah, at NES_dudes. I found it. At NES_dudes.
Yeah, it's NES_dudes on the tweeters, on Twitter.
And it looks like there's a sign up going on for the 2016 2 Dudes Junk Box. So go sign up for that and get some Nintendo junk.
Yeah, man, you could get a copy of Urban Champion, or maybe a copy of
LGN MLB Baseball.
Yeah, Silent Service.
Service, yeah.
I mean, that's one of the most sought after games.
Yeah,
obviously.
Absolutely.
That's one of my personal favorites. And then you could also get a copy of I don't know, what's another great game that nobody has?
Mario Duck Hunt.
Yeah, Mario and Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another classic. Or maybe...
you said Urban Champion, right?
Urban Champion. I know we kind of slagged off Akari Warriors a bit earlier, but Akari Warriors, the first one, I think should go in that box.
Okay.
Is that your guitar?
Actually, it was something else. I don't know where I'm at.
Justin, is that your medical equipment?
I think it is. X-ray machines and stethoscopes and stuff like that.
Okay. I was just making sure.
Yeah, sorry about that.
If it's for science, then I understand.
That's probably my dog or my cat or something in the background. I don't know.
Farting, right?
Yeah. Just static.
Dog just...
Yeah. That'll happen. Pull Carl.
Absolutely.
Oh, now I'm turning on stuff. Oops.
You know what? Is this the 2 Dudes in the Nest podcast, or is this the... Justin's just going to put something in the microwave for about 2 minutes podcast?
That'll work too.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just making sure. Just
all right, man.
Keep us in line.
All right, man.
Well, here we're going to go ahead and play the music from our next game, and we shall bid you adieu, fine folks.
Bid you adieu.
All right. Take care.